Hey there! Welcome to another episode of Raw Green, a show produced by Obi, a sustainability consultancy specialized in life cycle assessment, research, and green techs. Learn more about us on oneobi.com or take a look at our pages on various social medias. Links are ready for you in the description. Ciiiao! I am Francesco De Lieto. I am passionate about sustainability and green technologies. Welcome back to a new episode of Raw Green. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming to Raw Green Michael Kohler, the founder of Ciiiiao Yachts, a true pioneer in sustainable yachting. His work has reshaped the way we think about yachts by integrating solar energy, electric propulsion, and sustainable design principles. Michael, ciao. Welcome to Raw Green. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Very, very good. I'm very happy to have you here. I would like to start, if you can please tell me your story and how you came with the idea of developing Ciiiao Yachts.
Actually, my wife and I were sailors at heart for many, many years. In the meantime, more than 40 years. And the idea of creating something new came up in the 90s when we saw that the development on the energy systems on boats did not keep pace with the development of electronic equipment that everybody brought on board. Example, in the 90s, everybody had minimum one, rather two, or maybe even three cell phones. You had a separate camera, digital camera to take photos because the cell phones were not able to take photos at that time. And usually you had an extra pretty mid-professional one, digital camera, video camera. And so you had multiple toys that you bring on board. Of course, a laptop, that need to be recharged on a boat. And the whole infrastructure on a boat was not suitable for that. It means there was one plug, and it usually was a 12-volt plug. And we understood that something needs to be done because it's pretty absurd to run a generator with 4 or 6 cylinders to recharge a phone. Or what we did, in fact, is we went to a restaurant in the evening and had an electric hub with us for 4 plugs. Where we could plug in our cell phones and the other toys to recharge them while having dinner. Not really smart, not really handy, and that was one of the main reasons why we thought, come on, there must be another solution. There must be a way to get electricity on a boat without running the generator, without being forced to stay in a marina overnight. Just to be in a bay and having electricity while staying on board in a bay. And this was simply not possible at that time. The boats used either generators or went to a marina. And that was the moment where we thought, let's find a solution.
Which was?
I think I was the first one who installed an inverter in a boat. An inverter that could produce 230 volt AC out of a 12-volt battery. Today, everybody has one. Yeah? The cars even have plugs to plug in a 230-volt appliance, some of the cars. And this has become pretty common. But mid-90s, it was simply not available. I got this inverter in a box built, one unit, only for me. Was not available on the market, and I installed it on the boat.
Think about that. And now it's given by discounted that you have this, right? Otherwise, it feels like you're in the Stone Age.
It was pretty expensive at that time, as you can imagine.
Yes, amazing.
It was Stone Age in this regard, yes. So what we did is we could use a hairdryer. We installed an electric normal household fridge 230 fridge. We installed for sure one of the very first induction cooktops in our boat and eliminated propane from the boat. And we could also use all kind of smaller, of course, only household appliances on the boat that are absolutely common today. But at that time, of course, too, but only in combination with a generator, never without.
Wow, this was 20 years before electrification for boating industry and even
More than
EVs,
20.
even cars. I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
mid
More
90s.
than 20. Almost 30,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Almost 30.
yeah. Wow, wow, and that give you the light bulb moment. We can develop, we can build something around this.
Yes. The main, let's say, the main goal at that time was to get more comfort in the boat.
Mm,
It was the second point for sure was doing something for the environment and not being forced to run the generator in a pristine bay. But the to be honest, the main goal was comfort.
yeah.
Not to be forced go to a marina just to recharge or to have noiseless a noiseless stay in a bay because the generator is never noiseless, and
Hmm.
it's the fumes, the vibrations, everything is annoying. And we had a generator on our boat, but we didn't want to use it.
No, I imagine you're at anchor in the like a sunset in a beautiful bay somewhere, and you don't want that to be spoiled by
Yeah,
the sound of a generator. And also from a cost perspective, I mean, marinas are not cheap.
crazy.
So also that let's say that capex, that cost, the little investments, which I assume not even that little at the time,
It's
they
crazy. Yes.
generate a return afterward by docking less at marinas. So it's nice, interesting to hear that from something more than 20 years ago, dated. So and from there, so this was on your own boat. You started to implement these technologies on top of your boat, and then. When the first time you and I spoke, you said you travel more than 70,000 miles around the globe. Is that
Something
correct?
like this, 75.
Yeah,
Mm.
75,000 miles. That's a lot. And during this very deep thinking time that you had while doing the 70,000 miles across the globe, you came with the idea of developing a fully electrified boat that also included the propulsion. What was the
Yes.
stage of developments that we have with the silent yachts
Actually,
today?
in 2003, I already wanted to buy a Lagoon 380 without propulsion system. So I wanted to install electric propulsion into that boat. But they were not very cooperative. So I decided to sell my Lagoon again. I still bought it, but I sold it 1 year later because I was a good boat, by the way, very good boat, but not suitable for what I wanted. And I bought another boat which had very old motors and very old systems. So I was able to, without destroying something new, to install whatever I wanted, what I considered necessary to run my tests to understand if it's possible or not. And it happened on the island of Mayro in the Caribbean that I was up in the mast changing a bulb on my sailboat, sailing catamaran, was a Fontaine Pajot at that time. And I looked down to the boat, standing in the big blue area, and I saw the solar panels in the back of the boat. We had, of course, solar panels already at that time in 2006, and I looked at the boat and saw that the solar panels are working, obviously working. I saw the wind generator on the mast, who was also working. And I saw the sails, the jib and the mainsail covered with a blue protection, lazy back, and not working. Obviously, yeah, of course, the boat was at anchor, but it was this moment that made me understand that sails are only good if you want to move your boat from A to B, and the wind at the same time comes from the right direction in the matching force that you need for that size of boat to go from A to B. When you're at anchor, when you're in a marina, obviously, I know, but you need to understand that fact that you have machine on board, the whole rig, the sail, the stays, mast, boom, everything, winches, that costs a lot of money and adds a lot of weight to the boat, which does not increase the efficiency, but you use it only a tiny fraction of the time.
Mm.
That means when you're not cruising, you're not using the sail at all, obviously. When you're cruising, use it maximum 50% of the time, to be honest. Ask any sailor you want at typical holiday conditions, holiday time, holiday area. Maybe the Caribbean is a little exemption, but throughout the Met, you use it maximum 50% of the time. And sorry, that's not efficient.
Mm-mm-mm.
So what I checked out is on how many days would solar energy be superior to wind energy for the propulsion of a boat. Besides the fact that, of course, with a sail, you never can cook your spaghetti and cool down your beer. But in addition to that, how much can we use the solar energy for the propulsion of the boat? And is it really superior to wind energy? And a very simple solution, actually a little bit frustrating for most of the sailors, I guess, solution was after a couple of weeks, but we took way more time to test it thoroughly, was only on a fraction of the days, maybe 2-3% of the days, of the sailing days. Yeah, we had to admit, okay, today a sail would have been better than the sun.
Okay, all right.
All the other days were superior.
And we also have to contextualize this with the efficiency of the solar panels at the time, which they are not, for example, the level of quality and efficiency that we have nowadays. So
more than 50% plus we have now.
Wow, that is a lot. That is really a lot in the overall economy and management, energy management.
From 14% to 23%.
Amazing. So, and this was basically the Fontaine Pajot was your R&D lab. Let's call it that way, where you played around, you tested technologies, and then from the Fontaine Pajot, you went through the design. How did you design something that was never done before? Are you like a naval architect? How did it came? How that idea came? You're obviously an experienced sailor, so you know the inside out. You know how to navigate a boat, how to live aboard, which is completely different than, for example, having the holidays, the chartering that you take for 1 or 2 weeks in August during summertime. So from there to saying, okay, I had my fun. I played with the different technologies around into my R&D lab. From there to say, okay, I can design a new yacht. How did you do that?
We first wanted to buy a newer boat, maybe a damaged boat or a boat that has never been finished, to be able to transfer it to electric propulsion. It should be a newer boat because the other one was pretty old. It was pretty small as well. The Fontaine Pajot, good boat, but we wanted to step up. And we searched, and we had to understand that the boats on the market are not suitable for what we are doing, because one of the main things, firstly, we are only talking about catamarans because we need big surface on the
Space.
deck for or on the roof for solar panels. So monohull not suitable. On catamarans, we could not find what we were searching for a very simple reason. At that time, all the boats had more or less round shapes on the roof, and you cannot really fix panels on a round shape. And so we found a shipyard that could build a boat for us that suits that purpose. So this boat that we built in 2009 was designed and built on purpose for solar electric propulsion. So it was not a converted sailing boat. It was built for that purpose. And that means we had a huge roof full of solar panels. We had enough space under deck for the batteries and very little space only needed for the electric propulsion. No real engine room as you would expect it, because simply not needed.
Hmm.
And which is very nice, because in fact we had the electric motors visible in the corridor intentionally, because we wanted to show everyone, have a look, please. That's
Nice.
it already.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happens. We don't need more space. It was open, and you can hear it. That you don't hear it.
Yeah.
And this was I think pretty convincing for many people that visited that boat, because it was a showboat. We had hundreds, probably thousands of pupils on board, young people in all the countries we went through, that were brought in from their teachers to see what is possible today. And of course, on boat fairs, we had thousands of people in total on the boat, and a lot of journalists. We never had such an attention before, compared to what we had in this year, in 2010, 11, 2012, with this boat.
Wow. Wow. But I still don't think it was something economically viable at that time. It was a very like complex innovation, meaning you were going to touch something that hasn't changed for, I would say, decades, but perhaps is more than decades. We're talking about hundreds of years of the way that we are used to sail, right? Either through gas propulsion, combustion engines, or through sailing, to normal sailing. So to be able to change that paradigm, it is something that requires, yes, a lot of teachings. The communication part, it is very, very important to be able to showcase and explain the upsides in switching into something new, because it is completely new, rather than planning your trip, looking at the winds, at your barometer and everything else. I mean, you still look at your barometer, but you look at your sun radiation. So it is a much different approach. How was your response, your initial feedbacks from, let's say, people that were showing an interest towards this development?
Difficult question. Let's say the normal people were fascinated. They loved it. Everybody who was on the boat or saw the boat, even from the pier only, was amazed and couldn't believe what he's seeing. And we got so much applause for this boat, and it's still really touching for me to talk about it. And of course, the response from the industry was different, because we
I can
were doing
imagine.
something that was the opposite of what they made the people believe for decades is the optimum. And we showed them there is way more possible. And this was of course not let's say they did not invite us with waving flags to introduce our technology to them.
Mm.
Definitely not. It happened what always happens with new inventions. Firstly, everybody laughs, yeah, and smiles at it because he thinks it will never work. And then when they understand it works, they fight it because it destroys their picture of reality
The status
and of
quo.
their
Yeah.
reality of
Yeah.
and when they understand that there is no way around it, that this new technology is coming, they pretend to have said it always. Yes, we know that's the future. So exactly this happened to us. The people smiled at us, laughed at us, and said, "Okay, this is a niche product. Nobody needs it. Nobody will buy it." Guys from Fontaine-Pajot once said at the boat fair to one of our clients who checked out their opinion. They said, "Oh, have you ever heard there is generators on board? We don't need this stuff." And
Oh,
by the way,
wow.
Fontaine-Pajot was one of the first who followed this example and put a lot of solar panels on their
Yeah.
boats.
Yeah.
And but it's not it's I don't want to throw a company under the bus. It's the people that
Of
represent the
course.
company that sometimes talk stupid things, and they're building, by the way, gorgeous boats now. And the thing is, I think already at that time in the early uh, uh, 2010, so 2012, 2014, I think most of the companies understood that there is a new development coming in now, because Tesla was already known at that time. And what happened with the cars, I think everybody could expect at least something similar could happen in the marine industry. And but they still did not believe it, that it really would how to say, um, affect them, because everybody in the industry, I think, thought that their boats are already top of the technology, top of the development, and they are doing a good job.
Yeah.
And so I think the majority thought, okay, nice, still niche product. It will be a market for these green boats for some people that don't want to spend money on fuel. But I think nobody expected, at least not at that time, what will happen in the car industry. Now, end of 24, I think everybody understood that the future car is an electric car.
Yeah.
And I think now the people understand that also the future boat will be an electric boat.
Yes. I remember. I remember actually reading articles about silent yachts. That they were calling you guys the Tesla of the seas, because
Yes. Well,
because let's say the similarities, the parallels between the two, in the nature of a sustainable form of transportation, yes, but also that disruptive approach onto consolidate both very consolidated industries, cars and yachts, boats. So yes, I remember that very very well. But it is true what you say. It is let's say the legacy builders, boat builders, let's call it that way. You have the Fontaine Pajot, you have other the Lagoon catamarans, which are ironically the 380 that you used to own probably had the largest surface where you could put panels, ironically, at that time. Now they have way bigger roofs, but they understood because 3-4 years after, which in the maritime industry it is a very short amount of time, you start to see hybrid propulsion, you start to see efficient air conditioner on boats, and then you start to see more solar panels, you start to see servo props, you start to see different form of energy efficiency around the boat to be able to reduce those maintenance costs. You went one step
yeah.
further. you started to also put the kite sails onto that. And I remember looking at your website. Now, I'm not saying that I was refreshing every 5 minutes, but I was waiting to see pictures of when you were going to install the kite sail onto the Silent 60, if I remember right, was the first one with the kite on. So that it is a different attitude, okay, that it is the mentality of bringing something new every single time there is a chance to bring something new, which was also diversified silent yachts with other boat builders. We're talking about 10 years ago, so no, a little bit less
Yeah.
than 10 years ago, but still at that time the idea of having a kite on a boat to help on passages or to help to get that 1-2 knots during navigation, 1-2 knots of speed during navigation is amazing. Is amazing. And now you see companies like Sunreef, for example, that they are also investing a lot, for example, of the integration of solar into into the whole body, or on the mast as well. So amazing, amazing to see that. But now I want to ask to Michael, the entrepreneur. Okay, from your R&D lab, what did you do after? Did you start to prepare your business plan? How did you move from idea and prototyping to building up a yard, to building up a yachting company? Because we're talking about a lot of money here to develop something like this.
Yeah, actually, we started with a very, very small budget because, in fact, we built the boats for ourselves. And but we understood in 2010, 11, 12, with the first real fully electric boat was a SolarWave 46, was the name of this boat. And we understood that there are more people that want such a boat, because we had gorgeous response on the market. Many people ask us, where can we buy? And so we understood there should be a way to make a viable business out of it. And in 2013, we sold this boat, had some money now. And in 14, we ordered a boat from a shipyard that should be again the next step on this ladder. We found clients that wanted the same boat, sold them, and got them built at this shipyard. And this was the first step towards production with another shipyard and then another shipyard, because they always are slower than they pretend to be, because we sold too many boats. We understood that we need to set up our own shipyard, because we wanted to be in
Faster.
control of the speed, of the materials, of the workforce, of everything, the money flow. And we could manage that in about 2020. So we scaled up again and had our first shipyard then in Italy that we owned as a company. And this is still the production facility of Silent Yachts.
You also had at a certain time you had one in the Philippines, or was the like a subcontractor in the Philippines, or Thailand?
Not Philippines, but Thailand,
Thailand. Yeah.
subcontractor. Yes.
Yeah.
This was exactly the same problem as we had in Turkey and as we had in China. Nice people, good shipyards, all fine, but the speed was way behind their and our expectations. And it was simply also the distance was too big. It seems to be cheaper to produce in such a country, and the quality in the end was not bad. It was okay, because we really took care that they install good materials only. But in the end, the distance is too big, because you have to be there almost permanently, and it's much easier and cheaper in the end to do it close to your home and with the shipyard that we have in Fano, this it was the perfect match, because this is not far away from us. You can simply take your car and drive there, and the quality they build there is gorgeous, and it works.
You have the Italian craftsmanship on boats that, I mean, it is world renowned. It is
Yes.
literally one of the best, if not the around the world. So yes, I
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah, I mean, quality, you gotta pay for quality. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what was, let's say, that appealing cost saving in setting up a yard in Philippines, Thailand, or China? Was it just the labor part, or the, I don't know, the materials,
Only the
energy?
labor. Material, not at all, because the material was coming, depending on where we produced, but was coming either from Europe or from Australia. That
Mm,
means the cost for all the components, technical parts, even for fiberglass, resins, and other things, was exactly the same what we pay here in Europe, or due to transport costs, even
even
more
higher.
expensive.
Yeah,
So the only cost saving factor was the labor. And yeah, on the other hand, you have to fly there multiple times. The clients have to fly there, and somehow the boat has to be transported then back to
back.
the Met.
Yeah.
In the end, this balances any advantage, and in the end, the price it was the same.
Yeah, well, but again, also from an environmental perspective, if you have shorter supply chains, that definitely helps a lot. Plus, also, I imagine for warranties, parts, and anything, if you have them closer to you, it helps to build
Yeah,
up that
crazy.
relationship one way or another. So yeah, well,
Yeah,
plus
yeah. We
fun
had
on
people
in a beautiful area.
from far. Yeah, we had people from Far East flying to Europe to make warranty repairs, and this
There you go.
this is not really a smart solution.
Mm,
So we had for some years we had two shipyards in parallel in Far East and in Italy, and we saw the huge difference. It does not make sense to go that far. We have good working force in Italy, and it's close, and all the materials that are needed are there. So we have very short ways, and it has many advantages. That's why in the end the decision was clear. We go there and we stay there.
well, yeah, it was a good choice. Let me ask you something else. I don't know if you had the chance. We also had on the podcast David Kendall, the CEO and founder of Optima Yachts, which is it's another electrically propelled smaller boat, beautiful design. I love it. The aerodynamics, it is amazing and optimized for efficiency and also aesthetic. And
Yeah.
he also is also I would say a crusade, but is his mission obviously to try to communicate as in the best of his capabilities the overall cost of investing into a electrically propelled boat. You just don't have to look at the capex, but at the overall life, so including also the maintenance cost, which are incredibly lower compared to a combustion engine powered boats. So that does this applies also for boats of the size of silent yachts, so 60 feet onward, or it is just for, let's say, smaller boats?
Um, um, I think it's rather the opposite. There are two things that you have to consider. People always ask me what's the optimum size for a solar powered boat, and I usually
Mm.
say matchbox size.
Okay.
Because the bigger it gets, the smaller the influence, the part that solar energy can contribute to the overall consumption becomes. That means very simple. If a boat gets bigger, it grows by cubic. Yeah, that
Mm.
means you have a length, you have a width, and you have height, and that means it also becomes heavier by cubic. But the solar array only becomes bigger by length and width.
Yeah, square. Yeah.
That means if you double the size of the boat, it will weigh 4 times more, but the solar panel area is only double. And that's why I say matchbox size. It's a joke, of course, is the perfect size for a boat. But I want to express the bigger it gets, the more you will need some fossil fuel to power the whole boat. Especially for driving. Household appliances, air conditioning is one thing. We can cover it even on bigger boats, but for the propulsion, you will need more energy the bigger the boat becomes. On the other hand, on a smaller boat, you do not have all these appliances that would make sense and would justify the higher price. Because especially on a small boat, the difference between a simple outboard motor or a diesel inboard engine to compare to a solar electric propulsion system is huge on a small boat. For a simple reason, because on a small boat, we are talking about 4, 6, 8, 10 meters. You usually don't have a generator, you don't have inverters,
You have the
you
space.
don't have a lot of consumers, air conditioning. David Kendall doesn't have an air conditioning on his boat, I guess. So
Yeah.
that means with a solar electric drivetrain, you would have a big advantage when using an air conditioning, but the small boats don't have one. And that's why your simple question requires a more or a longer answer,
Elaboration. Yeah.
because technical point of view, the smaller the better. From the economical point of view, the bigger the better, because the bigger the boat becomes, the bigger the engines are, and much bigger is also the technical, let's say, systems on the boat, starting from electrical doors and other things.
Of
All
course.
that requires generators permanently running day and night, 24/7. And usually they run one main generator and a secondary generator. And if you can get rid of all this, then you get out all the benefits from the solar electric propulsion and energy system. That means on a small boat, the price difference is big. On a bigger boat, the price difference from a normal, let's say, full option, well equipped boat to an electrically powered boat is zero. There is no price difference anymore, because in the end, if you can make use of all the benefits that such a drivetrain and an energy system delivers, you get rid of all the usually very expensive separate inverters and battery
Parts. Yeah.
systems and
Battery.
and generators that cost a lot of money, but in the end, by far does not give you that comfort that a solar electric energy system can give you, and the price is the same.
Yeah. No, I never thought about, to be honest, the relationship cubic versus square, that when you increase the size, you go on a cubic order of magnitude, while the availability of energy generation from solar goes from a square order of magnitude. So that is actually, there is a very interesting angle, which it is somehow you're thinking about what would be the situation in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years with the technological advancements. that we are going to have in both generation and storage too, because obviously also the weight and the energy density of the battery packs plays a kind of influential role in the whole overall design and performances of the boat. And there are some physics limitation, for example, in the capacity that solar panels can generate energy. You cannot arrive to a 90% level of efficiency. But at the same time, I believe that a lot of work can be done onto energy efficiency of those parts that you were saying before, all those components that are inside the yacht, right? All the, let's call it, how do you call it, the hotel part of the boat, right? The kitchen, the refrigeration part is a huge thing, is a huge energy consumption part, and also obviously the propulsion and the aerodynamic of the boat itself. So any kilowatt hour that you're able to save somehow can be reallocated for better purposes or according to the lifestyle of the boat users. So, but again, what you and your wife initiated and developed, it literally triggered a change, Michael, because even let's say now I see a range of more sporty catamarans from 40 feet onwards. You have Outremer, you have HH. They are all installing more solar. They're installing hybrid propulsion on board. 10 years ago, this no. It wasn't done. So you really started something which has been nice to see the evolution starting from you and then also spreading out across different brands, but also different boat categories. Really nice to see. Michael, thank you very much for your time. This was a lovely chat. Thank you for sharing your story and your knowledge about the industry. What's next for you, actually, before we say goodbye?
Let's say my wife and I are on the way to retirement, and so we
On a silent yacht.
Our company Silent Yachts has new management now. So we are now working as consultants, still in the industry a little bit. We're working for the benefit of clients who want to buy a yacht or want to find the right choice or optimize their boat. That's it, what we do just for fun. But apart from that, we want to enjoy life and and have hopefully some more beautiful years in front of us.
I can see 75,000 more miles around the globe in the horizon.
Could be.
Thank you, Michael. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Was a pleasure for me. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Raw Green. To get this far, you must have liked it. So don't forget to hit that like button and follow our podcast. It is a great way to support our community. At OBI, we're all about research, life cycle assessment, and green tech innovation. Stay connected with us through our social media pages or visit our website. Links are below in the description. See you next time. Ciiiao.